Hey everybody, my name is Mathieu Rozier, and today I'll be talking about the Mi'kmaq language and a specific morphophonemic alternation within it. So the Mi'kmaq language is an Algonquin language spoken in Eastern Canada, specifically within Atlantic Canada and parts of Northern Quebec. Um, Also dips into some parts of Northern Maine just a bit. So you can see this map at the bottom here shows traditional Mi'kmaq territory. Um, so yeah, uh, it's spoken by around 7,000 people in the U.S. and Canada today, and it's really only the only indigenous language in its region. There is a bit of Maliseet and Passamaquoddy, as I call the Maliseet, in Maine, but they're also very similar groups. So in Mi'kmaq, Mi'kmaq being a polysynthetic, highly agglutinative language, it has a very complex word structure. So words can almost be full sentences, or what would be considered to be full sentences in English. Um, and Mi'kmaq morphemes are combined in really complex ways. For example, verbs are formed by combining roots, finals, person inflections, and tense, among others. And that depends really on what type of verb is being used and what tense it's being used in and how it's being used, obviously. So yeah, we have an example from Professor Little here from 2017, Mijulti jig. That means they eat. So we see here that in the gloss, there's the root, verb root, mij, which means to eat, ulti, which is the pluralizer. The particle G is a third person marker, and eg is the plural animate inflection. So this pluralizer, ulti, it surfaces as ulti most commonly. It appears in the intransitive animate verbs, and it can either surface as uti or ulti. Fiddleholtz in 1968 stated that there are like two allomorphs underlyingly, T and ulti. And he didn't really give an explanation as to why this might be. It's not very clear what dictates whether one appears or whether the other appears. So that brings us to the research question. Has Fiddleholtz never resolved the issue of why the pluralizer morpheme alternates between T and ulti? And another thing that he doesn't mention actually is why in some cases the vowel preceding it, so like the U, as we can see here, is lengthened in some cases. He explains de-lengthening, but he doesn't explain why lengthening occurs in some cases, because you do get lengthening in cases where you wouldn't expect it. So yeah, that leaves us with two questions. The first is there a reliable morphophonemic rule that can describe the alternation between T and ulti forms? And is there a way to determine whether the morpheme will surface with a long vowel preceding it? So essentially, as a methodology, I would propose scanning through the Mi'kmaq online dictionary, which is a great resource, contains hundreds and hundreds of words of Mi'kmaq words and sentences, using those words and examples. So luckily I have access to that and can use that. What I would do is compile instances of the pluralizer morpheme being used, and then I'd organize them all based upon their phonetic shape. So like, for example, if it's ulti, if it's uti, if it's a long or short vowel, and then record the surrounding phonetic environment in which each of these allomorphs appear to get a sense of what's going on and see what phonetic influences are causing this change between the various allomorphs. And then finally, I try to devise a phonological rule to sort of answer these two questions of one, is there a reliable rule that can describe the alternation between T and OT, and whether the morpheme will surface with the long vowel. And that's pretty much it. These are my resources. Thanks very much.